Hey everyone, welcome back. I am Sanyukta from Vista InfoSec. Today we are breaking down server side XSS, what it means, how attackers abuse it, and how defenders fix it. If you work in web security development or penetration testing, this one is for you. Hit like and subscribe and let's jump in. Before we dive into the demo, let's first understand the terminology and what exactly server side XSS means. XSS stands for cross-site scripting and it's a common web vulnerability where an attacker injects malicious JavaScript into a web application. Now, when we say server-side XSS, we usually refer to what is also known as stored XSS or persistent XSS. In this type of attack, the malicious input provided by an attacker is stored on the server, often in a database, comment section, user profile, or message board. Later, when another user visits that affected page, the server sends back the stored malicious script as the part of web page. The victim's browser executes that script and that's where the attack actually happens. So the key point is, unlike reflected XSS which need the victim to click a crafted link, server side or a stored XSS gets permanently saved on the server and automatically impacts anyone who views that content. It is also called server side because the injected payload travels through the server's data storage and is later served to users rather than being reflected instantly from a request. In short, the attacker injects malicious data, the server stores it, and the victim's browser executes it later. That is the essence of server side or stored cross-site scripting. First terminology, you have probably heard XSS or cross-site scripting. People also say server-side XSS in two ways. Common usage is stored or persistent XSS, where malicious input is stored on the server like database, forum post, profile and later delivered to users, causing script execution in victims' browsers. Less common cases where payloads execute in server context, for example, server-side template injection. Today we will focus on first the stored attack pattern, how it's saved on the server and later executed on the client, plus a short note about server-side template injection differences. Server-side XSS is dangerous. Unlike reflected XSS where the payload disappears once the request ends, in a stored XSS, the malicious script is permanently saved on the server. That means every time someone visits the injected page, the attack executes automatically. Imagine this: a hacker injected a malicious JavaScript code into a blog's comment section or a user profile. That comments get stored in the website database. Now every visitor who opens that post unknowingly runs the hacker's script inside their browser. This gives the attacker several dangerous possibilities like they can steal session cookies and hijack users' accounts. Also, they can redirect users to malicious websites. They can modify web page content or spread fake information. In worst cases, they can even perform actions on behalf of the victim, like transferring money, changing passwords, or sending messages without the user realizing it. Stored XSS is dangerous because it doesn't require the attacker to trick the victim into clicking a special link. The malicious script sits on the site, comments, profiles, message boards, and executes automatically when other users view that content. So, server side or stored XSS is dangerous because it's automatic, persistent and scalable. A single payload can impact hundreds or even thousands of users. That's why organizations treat stored XSS as a high severity vulnerability in web applications. How it works. Let's walk you through the attack flow by step. Step 1. Attacker submit malicious input. This could be a comment, a profile field or a forum post or any input in the application saves. The attacker's goal is to sneak in a script or payload into that data that the server will persist. In step 2, the server stores the input. Because the application fails to properly escape or sanitize the data before saving it, that malicious content lives in the database, file store or persistent storage, just like any normal user content. In step 3, a victim requests the infected page. When another user opens the page or resource that includes the stored content, the server builds the page and sends that stored data back as a part of the HTML response. In step 4, the browser executes the stored script. The victim's browser treats the stored content as a part of the page and runs the script in the context of the site. From there, the script can perform actions visible to the attacker. For example, read non-HTTP only cookies, calls API as the user, or modify the page. In short, attacker then data saved on server after user views it and browsers runs it. That persistent is exactly what makes stored XSS so powerful. A single injection can affect every visitor of that page until the stored payload is removed or app is fixed. Now let's cover variations and common pitfalls. These are the places people get surprised during testing and remediation. First is context changes everything. What works in HTML body won't necessarily work inside an attribute, inside a script block, or inside CSS or URL contexts. Each context needs different escaping. Don't treat XSS as a one-size-fits-all problem. Second is JSON and single-page apps. APIs that runs JSON can still cause XSS if client-side code insert unescaped data into the DOM. Watch out for clients templates that do inner HTML or dangerously set inner HTML in React. Attribute and even handler injection. In payloads can hide inside attributes or data attributes. Don't forget to encode attribute contents and strip dangerous event handler attributes if allowing HTML. HTML sanitizers can be misused. Sanitizers or custom regex based filters often fail. Use weighted libraries, example DOM Purify, and apply a strict whitelist. Beware of sanitized HTML that still allows SVG or math vectors or JavaScript. Fifth is double encoding and truncation bugs. Double encoding or truncation in storage or display can accidentally reintroduce executable characters. Test how input is encoded on save and decoded on the render. CSP is a not silver bullet. CSP means content security policy helps, but it doesn't defend in depth. Misconfigure CSP's inline script allowances or relaxed unsafe inline can make you overconfident. Another is server-side template injection confusion. Then edge cases, SVG file uploads, email and caches. And the last, character encoding and exotic vectors. So let's talk about the real world impact of a stored access vulnerability, why security teams and auditors treat it seriously. At a technical level, stored access lets an attacker execute arbitrary JavaScript in a browser of anyone who visits the infected page. That's the root capability, and from it flow many concrete harms. The first impact is session theft and attacker takeover. A malicious script can read non-HTTP cookies or steal session tokens and send them to the attacker. That often leads directly to the account compromise. Another is action on behalf of users, also CSRF style impact. The script can call site APIs with victims' privileges, change settings, send messages, transfer data, or perform transactions, all without the user's knowledge. Data exfiltration. Scripts can read page content, local storage, or call internal endpoints and exfilter its sensitive data like user list, emails, tokens, business data. Persistent wide-scale impact. Because the payload is stored on the server, a single injection can affect many users over time, potentially hundreds or thousands, until the payload is removed or patched. Another is lateral movement and privilege escalation. If an admin or a privileged users view the infected page, the attacker may gain access to the admin consoles or internal APIs, escalating the breach scope. Another examples are malware delivery and phishing amplification, and supply chain and monitoring exposure. Let's wrap up with the remediation and best practices to prevent server-side or stored accesses. The key idea is simple: never trust user input and always sanitize and escape data before displaying it. But let's break it down properly. So first remediation is output encoding by context. Escape all dynamic data according to where it is placed. Another remediation is use secure templating engines. Frameworks like Django, Jinja 2, Spring or React automatically escape output unless you explicitly disable it. Avoid concatenating HTML manually or using unsafe functions like inner HTML or document write. Input validation and sanitization. Validate input on both client and server sides. If you allow HTML like and comments or description, use a trusted sanitizer like DOM Purify or OWASP Java HTML sanitizer and apply a strict whitelist for allowed tags and attributes. Implement strong content security policy. Set cookies with HTTP only and secure flags. This prevents attackers from stealing session cookies even if access occurs. Disable unnecessary HTML features. Block dangerous scripts such as script, iframe, on-error, on-load or JavaScript URLs. Incident response and mitigation. When a server-side XSS vulnerability is discovered, it's important to respond quickly and methodically. The first step is to isolate the affected area by disabling or restricting access to the vulnerable page or feature and immediately removing or sanitizing the stored malicious payload to stop further execution. If user sessions might be compromised, invalidate all active sessions, regenerate session tokens and apply the HTTP only and secure flags to cookies. Analyze the injected script to understand its behavior, check logs to identify affected users and notify them if necessary. Preserve sanitized evidence such as logs and screenshots for forensic review. Then patch the root cause by applying proper output encoding, input validation and sanitization. Defense with a strict CSP policy. Conduct a full revalidation or security review to confirm the issues resolved and communicate transparently about the incident and corrective actions. Finally, update your security processes, automate access checks in CI/CD pipelines and include similar scenarios in your incident response plan to ensure stronger protection in the future. Conclusion: server-side stored access is one of the most dangerous web vulnerabilities because it allows attackers to permanently inject malicious scripts that execute in every user's browser visiting the affected page. This type of attack can lead to stolen credentials, hijacked sessions, and full compromise of user trust and system integrity. Understanding how it works, how to detect it, and how to mitigate it is crucial for every developer and security professional. By implementing strong input validation, output encoding, and security headers, and by following secure coding and testing practices, organizations can significantly reduce their risk. Remember, the goal isn't just to find vulnerabilities but to build systems resilient enough to withstand them. Stay ethical, stay curious, and always test safely. Thank you.